Hello everyone, my name is Janelle Santana. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am the founder of the Self-Care Project, and today I would like to discuss with you relationship goals. Last week we spoke about part 1, which is already uploaded on my YouTube channel. We will go over part 1 and then jump right into part 2. Most of you may think of relationship goals when you see Barack Obama and Michelle Obama hugging, and people would type on social media relationship goals. Those are relationship goals to some extent. Hugging and kissing, of course, is very important in a relationship, but also there's other things that I could guarantee you the Obamas put in to have an everlasting relationship. The first part of the relationship is the best, the real relationship goals. These are relationship goals that you start off with, but you continue through the relationship. And as we go into part 2 of relationship goals, you will also learn some new things and techniques that you can use with you and your partner. The first one is two, not one. Two, not one basically is being your own individual self, knowing who you are. When you come in a relationship, you already know who you are. Yes, change is always good in a relationship, but you should actually be your normal self, because most of the time that is when you meet someone, you fall in love and you're trying to be all perfect. But once you start falling into being yourself, you should continue being yourself. Be your authentic self. The next one is in sickness and in health. Most of you have heard this when you're getting married, but in sickness and in health is taking your partner for the good times, the great times, and the bad times, and following through with the relationship. So in sickness and in health, it's very important. For example, if your partner loses their job, you don't get out the relationship because they're jobless. You stay in that relationship and you make it work. At that point, you may need to stand up and help your partner. And health is when the relationship is great and everything's going well. You guys are dating, you guys are spending money and just having a good time. So just remember, sickness and health is very important in a relationship. The next one is lifelong learning. In a relationship, you have to be committed into learning new skills together. You guys can learn how to cook together, learn new recipes. A lifelong of learning is throughout the relationship to continue to learn from one another, learn from outside sources, go somewhere like to a museum or a park and just nature walking and find something new and learn about it. Google it, as we all have cell phones, ways of learning. So a lifelong time of learning is a great way to have a relationship. The next one is date night routine. Date night routine is not to go on dates whenever you can. It's actually a routine. You're actually fitting it into your schedule. We all have smartphones and things like that, so we could set up dates and just work through it. Date night routine can be 1 week where your partner finds something fun for you guys to do, or you find something fun. Date night routine does not have to be where you guys are spending a lot of money. You could go for nature walks. You could walk around the block, which is also a good thing because now you're able to lose weight and work on your health while you guys are walking. But just fit in date night and make it a routine. Don't make it a job. Make it a routine, something that you guys enjoy doing. The next one is handle with care. And that is basically to put each other's interests high, very high, what your partner likes. Most definitely handle it with care. What your partner does like, be considerate of your partner's feelings. Also be considerate of your partner's heart, because you don't want to break your partner's heart. I love to use handle with care as in a newborn baby. You're going to love up your newborn baby. You're going to kiss your baby. You're going to show your baby affection, and you're not going to want to hurt your baby. You don't want your baby to fall. So treat your partner more like a newborn baby and handle them with care, which is extremely important in a relationship. The next one is actively do things for each other. These things don't have to be huge things. You don't have to go buy your partner a car or a house. It's just actively doing things for each other. Could be if your wife is washing the dishes, you can take out the garbage. You guys can meet halfway. So try to actively do things for each other. And once again, these things, I don't want them to become jobs. I more want them to be like, I'm going to do this because my partner is doing this. It's a hand-in-hand relationship. I guarantee you, if we follow these relationship goals, our relationships will last a very long time. The next one is honest to goodness. Honest to goodness does mean honesty, yes, but it goes deeper than that. And that is to be the best version of you. Be real. A lot of people use, I keep it 100. If you don't like me, you just don't like me. Just keeping it real. So in a relationship, you need to keep it real. Be your authentic self. That's all keeping it real is. Pure authenticity. The next one is romance never goes out of fashion. The best example for romance never goes out of fashion would be Jordan sneakers. Every month they come out. People go and buy them because Jordans never go out of fashion, and maybe numbers. So your romance should never go out of fashion. Most definitely cuddle, stare into each other's eyes, watch the sunrise. Just remember, be romantic. That you don't actually have to be sexual, but be romantic. Be into what your partner is into. And I guarantee you, if you keep the romance going, you will enjoy the relationship much more. The last one from last week is the trust test. If your partner leaves their phone, will you pick it up? Or do you trust that everything in that phone is on the up and up, basically? Meaning that you don't have to pick up your phone. But if you're sitting wondering what your partner is doing on their phone, then you don't trust your partner. You and your partner should be able to drop your phones, or if a text come through and y'all together, he can read it. You don't have to say who's that, why they texting you. You have to trust that your partner will be with you and you only. Those was last week's, and always you can tune in to my previous post on relationship goals of part 1 and find out more about the first end of relationship goals. We're going to kick right into the long-term goals. This is called taking aim. In love lockdown. That is the first one. In love lockdown is a form of you feeling secured in your relationship. So it kind of goes with the trust test. Am I correct? So feeling secured in your relationship is your partner can go out. You can go out, and you're not worried if your partner is out there meeting anyone. So you feel secured in your relationship. So in love lockdown, it's all about you and your partner and being in a secured environment. The next one is speaking your own love language. We all have a love language that we speak, and we want our partners to realize what our love language is, whether that's acts of service, intimacy. So what you would do with that is know your love language. I do have a subject on the 5 love languages if you want to go deeper into that and find your love language, and you always could take the love language test. So knowing your love language and adhering to it, saying this is my love language, this is what I like. So when you're speaking your love language, that's just telling your partner what you like from what you don't like, and what exactly is your love language. Your love language may not be your partner coming home to a cooked meal and you're like, okay, you cooked dinner. How about if you're rubbing their feet or you're watching a movie? They may be more into that. So just speak your love language and let your love language be known. The next one is the family. Have you ever been invited to an event and your family automatically knows that you're coming with your partner? Part of relationship goals is, I know people may say, my family, I don't care if they don't like who I'm with. That's not necessarily true. When you're in a family, your partner should be very much involved, and your partner should be able to come to all your family functions, and he should not have to be invited because you're invited and you guys are in a relationship, so you guys are one. Hey, you come into the cookout, all you do is have to say yes, and your family automatically knows that you're bringing your partner. So the family is big in having these relationship goals. It's very, very important to have. In your own bubble, it's basically when you're in the privacy of you and your partner, and you guys are creating intimacy or creating things to do in the bedroom, and then being able to come out and talk about them, and only you guys know. So when you're living in a bubble with you and your partner, it's things that go on in the relationship where you and your partner are only privy to know. Is not in your own bubble does not mean other people know. This is something, it's like a secret, keeping a secret and living in your own bubble. And I know most of us would love to live in our own bubble with our mates. So try it. I think you guys will do great with it. The next one is adventure together. Adventure together is really important in a relationship. Like I said, sometimes money is not everything. You guys could go on hikes, you guys could go bike riding, or you guys could take a nice long vacation together where it's just you and your partner and y'all learning things. Also continuing getting to know each other, because every few months, every few years, things change, and you want to keep your partner put on to what you're doing new, and say to your partner, I don't like that anymore. I used to love that. And adventuring together will get you guys to learning each other, also learning from the outside world. So if you have the ability, travel with your partner. The next one is spoil and surprise each other. The surprise is if your partner goes to Great Adventures or Dorney Park and come back with them big old teddy bears that there's nowhere to put them. And that you would say, oh, thank you. And you're excited because you're like, you're so crazy. Surprise and spoil each other is about doing crazy, fun things to it stimulates the relationship. This is a great way to stimulate it, because you're like, oh, order surprise. Oh, you got that. Or for an example, when you go on your way to work and there's a bouquet of flowers while you're walking out the door, that's very surprising. Or you have edible arrangements sent to the home, or something that it'll spoil your partner but also surprise them because they're not expecting the gift. The next one is live wire. Live wire is very, very important in a relationship. It's all about communication. And if anyone knows what a live wire is, it's something you could get electrocuted with. It's something that's alive and it never dies out until it's unplugged. So a live wire is all about communicating. You cannot assume your partner knows anything. They are not mind readers. You have to communicate with them and let them know what is going on. So just keeping it real, keeping the line of communication open and real. The next one is financial forecast. Financial forecast is about the money that's in the relationship. You can most definitely, if you guys have a joint account and you go buy a pair of sneakers or you buy ice cream, that's not important to, like, me and my spouse have to talk. But if you're going to go buy a house or a car and you're using the joint money that's put together, those are financial forecasts. You have to let the forecast out like the weatherman does. So that's why that one is called financial forecast, is notifying your partner about who's paying what bills, who's responsible for the mortgage or rent, who's responsible for the light, who's going to get the food. Most definitely some of the bills will intertwine with each other, but just be open and be willing to have that communication dialogue going. In a relationship, you shouldn't go out and buy yourself a big item without discussing it with your partner, so that you guys are on the same page as far as purchasing these huge items, because they will put a burden on a family no matter how much money you have. The next one is lit up. Lit up is a very, very important one. It's actually the last one for this week. And the reason why lit up is the last one is keeping the flame burning. You could send nasty texts. You could do something extra in the bedroom. It's all about keeping the flame burning. You don't want your flame to die, because if your flame dies, it's very difficult to relight the flame. But if we follow these relationship goals, they'll be much better in getting us to where we need to be in our relationships. So quickly, I want to go over them one more time with everyone, just so that we know what we need to do in our relationship and that we can always remember. And love lockdown is the first one we went over, and that's just basically being secure in your relationship. Knowing that if your partner goes out or comes in, you're not worried about if your partner met anyone. The next one is speaking your own love language. You have to know what your love language is. That way you can speak it into existence and speak it to your partner. Like, I don't like that. I appreciate that you do that for me, but that's not my love language. For me, my love language is intimacy, cuddling, and just enjoying my partner. So if my partner is taking out the garbage and he's like, which is an act of service, and he's like, I took out the garbage, what more do you want? That's not my love language. So that's not what I want. I appreciate you taking out the garbage. Thank you. The garbage needed to be taken out. So just speaking your own love language. The family, your family, if your family is as important to you as mine is, I have to be in a relationship where if I'm invited, no one is asking me to keep my partner at home. My partner is also able to come to every family function. In your own bubble is just creating those intimate talks with you and your partner, and they never leave. You're not going to call your mother with your bubble stuff. It's all about you having that communication or that fun time with your partner. Next one is adventure together. Go on trips. Enjoy life. Go on vacations. If you can afford to, try to go on a vacation at least once a year. If you can do more, most definitely. Probably some of us watching this video already have grown children, so you could go on vacation whenever you want, as long as you guys have your money in place to go on vacation. Spoil and surprise each other. Do something insanely crazy, the teddy bear trick, or just do something to make your partner go laugh. That also keeps the craziness going, but the fun crazy. Please understand that I mean the fun crazy. Do silly things for each other and just enjoy each other's company. Live wire, very important. And it's funny that it came right after spoil and surprise each other. You guys have to communicate. You have to understand what each one of you guys love languages. You have to talk about bills. You just have to keep that live wire going. Don't shut down. Speak about it. And most importantly, don't go to bed angry with each other. The next one is financial forecast. Know who's paying the bills. Know what bills you're paying. Know what you need to do. Know your role in your relationship when it comes to the financial forecast. Do not go out and buy a house or a car or any huge gifts that need recurring payments, because those gifts would have to be in the bills, and they would have to be put in the bills. We all want to say our mate brought us a car, but if a car requires payment, then we have to also fit that payment in the bill. So financial forecast is extremely important, and that is part of the communication. You have to communicate what's going to happen. Lit up means keep the flame going. Keep that fire going. Just remember, if your fire is dying, maybe do something a little more. Do not let the flame go out. So we don't want our partners to look elsewhere. So you have to keep the flame going. You can send a nasty text. just to make them smile while they at work. If a lot of our partners, work hard jobs, or even if you're a stay-at-home mom, that's even harder than going to work. So just keep that fire burning. And that is it for us today. I would like to thank you guys for coming on. That is part 2. Next week, we're going to go with our final part. As always, thank you for joining my YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell. Have a good night.